Welcome to Christian Statesman. I'm your host, Zach Wagner, and this is episode 38, The Quiet Before the Storm. As we sit here on the 13th of January, 2021, we are seeing rumblings across the political spectrum. As the House considers impeaching a president that is allegedly leaving in 7 days, we have to wonder if this comparative and eerie calm is merely the quiet before the storm. The president is traveling and supposedly touting a few of his old accomplishments and calling for peace and calm. Meanwhile, there are movements behind the scenes and some interesting but muted signs of action. To fully understand this, we must play a few more rounds of what if. The narrative is that the inauguration of Joe Biden will occur in 1 week on January 20th. The narrative tells us that the election was conducted and certified through all legal and constitutional means. The narrative also continues that any suggestion of fraud in the election is nothing more than an unproven conspiracy theory. All of the media, and now the Electoral College, has certified the Biden presidency based on the current standing results. But now, we should ask a few what-ifs. What if the votes that were counted to create the electoral results were indeed compromised? What if the Dominion, Hammer, and Scorecard software was altered or hacked to change the results in some way, as the Trump team has alleged? And what if these attacks, also clarified by numerous Trump surrogates, was perpetrated by foreign powers, including Italy and China, through satellite technology and other means on American infrastructure? What if there is a pile of clear and undeniable evidence that all of this occurred that has never been able to get a day in court, even though it was laid out succinctly to state legislatures in places such as Pennsylvania? What if all this occurred, even though there is no time and no clear legal method to unwind such a complicated ball of yarn and litigate such findings through our court system, even if the results did not change throughout the process? But what if, according to the legal structure we all adhere to, if this attack actually occurred, and from a foreign power, a foreign attack by a foreign power on U.S. infrastructure, in this case our sovereign election system, is by definition an act of war? And what if this act of war is refused recognition by the very congressional powers that are sworn to defend our republic against any such incursion, whether it be physical or digital? What then is a sitting president's sworn duty? Is not his duty to defend the country and our constitutional procedures against any and all such actions? What is the course of action when others responsible to defend against such things refuse their duty? How does this play out? It is clear to see we would be entering somewhat unprecedented territory here. And for President Trump to indeed use the last remaining card on the table, a military response to such an attack on the country, would initiate one mother of all storms. Perhaps a more pressing question is, how would anyone convince the American people of such things when the system they have confidence in, including the media, has not given them a reasonable glimpse at the critical nature of the issues at hand? This is a real problem and a potential public relations disaster. But if you were one in a position of authority who knew that to not adjudicate such issues would spell the end of your republic, can you actually afford to wait for public opinion to catch up? And thus we see the dilemma our country may face. If the answers to our what-if scenarios are positive, then the current president is actually shirking his duty if he does not act upon it. But to act upon it destroys the official narrative and alienates a huge portion of the population who either do not or will not see the issues for what they actually might be. It renders an inactive judiciary and legislative branch culpable in the fraud and makes them supporters of the attack. And so the storm would feed and grow on this negative energy. Where amidst this maelstrom does any real truth abide? Have we actually been attacked? If not, our president should accept the facts and fade quietly into history, if the raging leftists in this country will allow it. If so, he must act in a way that will resolve the situation and assure that it never happens again. Either way, the words of the famous old rock ballad apply. This is the mystery of the quotient. Upon us all, a little rain must fall. Thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe, tell your friends, and as always, have a blessed day.